Kia ora, boys and girls. Welcome to this episode of the Drop Clutch with me, Ricky V. This is a series where I'm interviewing as many metal drummers from around New Zealand just to get an insight into what makes these guys and girls tick. My guest tonight is Fergus Aitken of the band Captured Kings. They are a young upstart band that are making great waves. They've got some interesting things coming. So let's get on to Fergus. Fergus, how you doing, bro?
Good, mate. Good. Thanks for having me on.
No worries at all. Thank you for being on. So to start us off, tell us a little bit about uh, the band. Tell us about Captured Kings, how they got started, or how you joined them.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah. So Capture Kings, we've been around for 8 or 9 years. The main three of us, me, Finn, and Connor, all went to college together. So we played in, a few different projects in college, and we found out that we all like the same sort of heavy music, and we jammed a bit when some of the other band members weren't there, and we found that we actually, really enjoyed our sound together. So through all the college bands and stuff, we decided to do our own thing. I couldn't really tell you when Capture Kings first got its name. It would have been around like 2016 or something when we first figured that out. And just started writing instrumentals because that's all we could do. There was only three of us, didn't have a singer. And yeah, we're doing that for ages, just jamming out heaps and doing gigs where we could, meeting guys like you and getting on the scene where possible. And then not until only a couple of years ago, we got contacted by Josh Hernan, who's our singer, got in touch and, said he liked our sound and said he wanted to jam and, see if he could add some vocals and a bit of value to the band. And yeah, that pretty much happened. We got him along, started singing for us, sounded great. So that's sort of where we're at now. We're kind of half instrumental just because that's, the amount of songs we've written over the years. We've only got about half of them that have still got vocals with them now. We've written a few with Josh. And yeah, really happy with the stage that we're at, having a singer was one of our main bits of feedback as we were, just playing all the shows. Everyone say, "Oh, you guys should get a singer." So now we're there, and we're really happy with that. Yeah.
Awesome. Focusing more on you now. What got you started drumming? How long have you been drumming? All that good stuff.
Yeah, cool. I think I really started drumming because mum wanted me to get into it, just encouraged by a parent like most people. So I started drumming when I was like 7 or 8, pretty young.
Wow.
Um, yeah, mum really wanted to get me into it because she's a piano teacher as well, so she was pretty adamant to keep music going in the house. But yeah, back then, it was probably equally as hopeless as any of the other kids, but started playing like primary school bands and stuff, and then you get to a point, everyone's sort of got that moment where they get the bug, and you start learning the songs that you really like, and then you get really into it, and then just like hits like an addiction when you're going through college.
Yes.
So yeah, from there, just kept playing. Started listening to heavier music, and had the moment where I was like, I have to get a double kick pedal. I'm going to die if I don't get one. So yeah, got that down and sort of been working up from there ever since, I think.
Very nice. Uh, whose style do you think has influenced you the most? And following on from that, can you tell us some of your favorite drummers?
Yeah, yeah. Style that influences me. I don't know. I've got a few different influences, and ones that don't always come through in, Capture Kings, which I was going to say my main project, but it's my only project really, so can't throw that at you. But yeah, a lot of stuff like just your favorite heavy metal bands. Really, for me, that's like a lot of Lamb of God, and Gojira come through, but always inspired by stuff like Dave Lombardo from Slayer, or
Sure.
like really quick early Slipknot, that sort of thing, which I'm still aspiring to do to this day. That stuff's all absolutely out the gate. Old Vinnie Paul as well, rest in peace.
Mm,
But yeah, old Pantera and stuff influences my drumming. A lot of what influences my drumming as well is like playing for the band as well and doing what needs to be done. A lot of what my bandmates say they want to hear as well is a big influence. They're
okay.
really good at sort of throwing ideas at me and it doesn't actually mean anything on drums, but we sort of come to a solution that ends up sounding really cool in the end as well. So yeah, definitely the boys from the band are a big influence as well, one way or another. But yeah, I think musically those guys, but outside of metal as well, do like a bit of like fusion drummers or just the guys who are just super technical, are really inspiring as well, like Marco Miniman or Thomas Pridgeon or JP Bouvet, sort of that
Yeah,
fusion style I get really into as well. Wish I could play more like that.
sure. We all do.
Yeah,
It's
fuck yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, every drummer knows the feeling of a guitarist going, "I want you to go," and you're like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck even is that?" Yeah, that's
Mm,
yeah. We all know that.
yeah.
Um, well, who was your favorite drummer that you've seen live?
Seen live. Yeah, that's a good one. I've seen quite a few good drummers live. But I think the one that I liked the most was probably Jay Weinberg, who's
Sure,
recently been booted out of Slipknot. A
that's a
bit
whole other
unlucky for
story.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah, Christ. But yeah, I saw him live when Slipknot and Lamb of God came to Auckland back in like 2017, I think it was, something like
20,
that.
2017, 2018. Yeah,
Yeah, one of them made the trip up to Auckland for that, which was really cool. But yeah, what stood out to me about his drummer was just like the pure, I don't know, just the rage and energy that which sounds really cliche, but like watching him do that live, I was like, oh my God, this is just a complete another level from seeing a video of it online. Like seeing it in person was just unreal. Loved it.
yeah. I was actually at that gig as well.
Oh,
I've
true.
never, yeah. I was, I'd never been that huge into Slipknot.
Yep.
I kind of like them, but then
Mm.
a very good friend of mine was going up, and so he said, come up, watch them, and then when Lamb of
Yeah.
God got announced, I was like, I definitely have to be there. That was
Yeah.
an amazing show. Incredible what they do live, for sure.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
So, how would you describe your style?
My style. Yeah, I think I'd probably take it back to, being in the band room and the guys just sort of throwing weird bits of what they want to hear from your drumming. But that sort of ends me up being pretty sort of like, I'd say kind of like Vinnie Paul and Chris Adler, so like Pantera and Lamb of God sort of thing. But I think that's mainly just a result of the music that we play in the band as well. Um, a lot of the drumming I try to do is trying to play the songs as best as they need, making them sound as good as they can and not taking over with the drums too much, but, still dialing back to those other interesting drummers that maybe aren't metal, like the fusion guys, and making it sound interesting and musical and melodic in its own way where possible, but without being overbearing, if that
Sure.
doesn't contradict what I've said too much.
No, makes perfect sense, man. Very good answer.
Man.
So, getting a little bit more into the actual drumming, hands-on drumming side of it, do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have a specific technique that you are practicing or working on or trying to perfect at the moment?
Yeah, I think in general, just always trying to build up double bass chops. Always aspire to have those just unbelievably quick feet, and definitely not where I want to be by any stretch. But been trying to pick up swivel technique
Mm.
for double bass for the last while, which is really really interesting. Been through different phases of like, oh yeah, I think I've got it, I think I'm down, and then sort of hit a wall. I'm like, okay, I got to go back to more fundamentals and start from the start. Done that a few times, but yeah, I think if I want to get something really, really good and tight, it'd be that swivel technique.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to play a game that I call first, last, best, worst. So I want to
I
know
mean,
what your very first gig that you performed at was, what the
yeah,
last one was, just to for some recency bias. What was the
yeah,
best gig that you've ever played, and what was the worst gig that you've ever played?
true. But first gig will be going back quite a while, but I think the one that we could properly call a gig was, I think, at the Boundary Pub in Raumati, if anyone knows it. Just not a music venue by any stretch, just a local pub, and yeah, it would have been with one of those college bands that we're in, sort of brought together by the local like music tuition school, and they sort of bring you together and teach you how to play like your Bruno Mars and your Paramore covers and stuff. So yeah, we'd just be pumping those out and playing those gigs wherever they pretty much tell you to. So yeah, I think it was at the Boundary we had some pretty hopeless early days of yeah, me, Finn, and Connor, and a couple of other girls that would have been in the band at the time, which was great fun. But if there's a video of it, I don't want to see it.
That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
And the
The
last gig?
last gig, yeah, the last gig would have been at Valhalla a month or two ago. We opened for Pull Down the Sun, who's main as Wanganui band, sort of like yeah, groovy metalcore stuff. Would you call them metalcore?
Oh, I like prog gent-ish,
Yeah, yeah,
sort
maybe not
of.
quite core.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely wear their influences on their sleeve for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, very heavily.
yeah. Sure. I guess whatever genre they are, they fucking rip. So
Oh
either way,
yeah, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
yeah. But with
What's yep.
sorry, I was gonna say we've gotten boys with them, over the many years that we've been in the scene. So yeah, that was the last gig. Valhalla opening for them, which was sick.
Yes, excellent.
Mm.
What's the best show that you've ever played?
Best show. Um, I don't know. I was thinking about this. And I think kind of any sort of recent show that we play as a band ends up, I mean, unless it's a real shitter, but it ends up being our best one just because we're all always sort of trying to develop and practice and get better. So, it'll end up being recent times that we come off the stage and we're like, oh man, that just felt so good. Um, you know, not every night, obviously, but um, yeah, I think just any general recent shows got to be, getting up on some of our best work and playing, our best songs because, well, what we hope are our best songs, just because we've come a long way in our writing and stuff. Yeah, which isn't a very specific answer, but yeah.
That's all good, bro. That was a great answer.
And
And
then
yeah, worst.
worst one. What would our worst one be? I think yeah, just back in the days of. So I keep peeling back to like high school and college performances, but there was just such a range with them. I don't know if you know those old venues, Zeal.
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
do you
But
remember them?
like yeah, many years before you. But yeah, I remember
Sure,
Zeal.
yeah.
Yeah.
We jammed around them a bit, and they were pretty funny. We had some hopeless ones there, but the one that stuck out was we were I can't remember if it was an original or not, but we had to stop partway into the song, and the singer turns around and is like, everyone, stop, stop. Um, the guitar's out of tune. Do you want to tune up?
Oh.
And stopped in the middle of the song to tune the guitar, and you know, everyone was just like, oh, okay, yeah. And then we stopped and kept the song going. But after that, yeah, reflecting on that one was pretty awful.
That is unique.
Yeah, yeah,
That
good to
is
get that out
unique.
of the way early.
Sure. Awesome. Well, you have been absolutely awesome, bro. Thank you so much for being here. To round us out, do you have any plugs that you want to make or any shout outs that you want to throw out there? Now's your chance.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Obviously got to plug and shout out the band Capture Kings. We've just gone on Spotify. We've got 2 singles out to date, and we've got our EP coming out with the full 6 song set on January 19th. If you check us out on all socials, particularly Facebook, we've got our pre-saves and our links on there. So go check that out if you can. Yeah, and for all that, shout out to the band members, Finn, Connor, and Josh as well. We've all been working really hard to pump out the EP and yeah, get all those songs together. Along with that, our recording engineer, Lachlan Pickford, amazing work from him. He's made us sound way better than we should. So if you've got any work that you need done, get to him. Shout out Total Deathcore, who've been doing the media for us and getting us sick artwork and making sure that we're everywhere that anyone can even think to find us. Who else to shout out? I guess all just other Wellington drummers in the scene. Shout out Ben from Valhalla and all the other people who are, doing all the work to get local musicians into the venues and just playing all their art. And yeah, shout out to you, Ricky, for having me on and doing awesome bits to, get the local drummers and musicians bit of visibility. Sick, loving it.
Oh, well, thank you very much, bro. That's much
Cheers.
appreciated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. That is us for now. We'll see you on the next one.